right, Luke Rides. Luke Rides is back, and guess what? You're now about to meet the motorcycle. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're about to meet the Ducati S2R 1000 Super Naked. So let's reveal the S2R 1000, and let's get into it. Yeah.
It's showtime.
I know, it's not like the Listen and Flyer and the big motovloggers that make a big song and dance about the new motorcycle, the new horse. No, Luke Rides is not like those other big motovloggers that are just divs. So this is it. This is the Ducati S2R 1000. Back in the day, this is Ducati Super Naked. She is a Super Naked. So Super Naked because this is the most powerful, most torquiest, most beautiful, most stunning, most amazing naked bike that Ducati built at the time that's air cooled. So the funny thing was Ducati actually did two Super Nakeds at the time. Ducati have learned not to do that anymore thanks to the Germans and Lamborghini, Audi. But back in the day, Ducati decided that they wanted to make two Super Nakeds, and you'd think to yourself, you wonder why Ducati were so close to no longer existing and dying as a company and having no money in the bank, because they were producing so many different models of motorcycles and not selling them very well and not selling enough. But it didn't help that Ducati were building multiple Super Nakeds as an example, instead of just sticking with like a current line, like what Ducati did with the 1200, Super Naked, the S and the R. They kept that model going for a lot longer than Super Nakeds of the past. This was only produced by Ducati for 3 years, this one. And they're rare. They are very, very rare. You'd very much be used to seeing the S2R 800s. So the S2R 800s was just the standard naked. Still got all the lavishings of single-sided swing arm, Brembos, trellis frame, and just Ducati lavishing it, but they didn't give it. But it wasn't the most powerful, torquiest, fastest, best handling naked bike until Ducati did this one. So 1,000 cc's, so that's 500 cc's per cylinder, and God, don't those cylinders look big? Look at the cooling. These massive, great big fins. Massive, great big fins. So big. You can see it. Even the valve system, big. And this was Ducati really starting to refine fuel injection. So this is no longer carbureted. This is now the carbureted Ducatis are gone. Ducati have moved on to fuel injection, and this was the version 2, the second generation of fuel injection. Why does Luke Ride say that? Well, because if you notice, there's no choke. There's no choke whatsoever. So when you turn her on, the engine, or the onboard computer, can literally warm up the engine for you without you needing to adjust the choke, which is pretty cool. Being fuel injected means that there is no surging of power and torque. The power and torque is always there at any time, at all RPMs. Whether you're uphill or downhill. So that's pretty cool. And it really does, you look at it and you just go, wow. Especially the way Ducati have done this with the high-rise system there, which is actually very rare. How many times have you come across a monster with a high-rise system? The modern interpretation of that is the BMW R90s. You can fit them with high-rise systems, but there's not any other modern motorcycle that you can do that. So it really stands out. And Ducati red. If you're going to buy a Ducati, it has to be red. That is Ducati's colour. End of. If it's not red, it's not Ducati. And as red as Ducati's colour, like Kawasaki is green, or Yamaha is purple, blue, So yeah. So this one's done a lot of miles. This one has actually done over 25,000 miles on a Ducati Super Naked. Isn't that interesting? Whoa. Wow, you just look at her and go, wow. It really is it really is a showpiece. Like a super bike. It's just every angle you look at it and you just go, oh my god, that's just art, that's just beauty, that's just sex on wheels. I mean, that's just, you want to touch her, it's just and the S2R 1000 got this lovely Ducati white stripe, just to remind you of what you're riding, that this is the Super Naked, this is the beast. And you can find the 800 S2R 800s with a white stripe, but the white stripe was really for thousands. So this is good. What we love about this particular SR 2000 is the fact that she has her original cowling up the front here, this wind deflector, that's brilliant. And the white stripe as well, which is factory and original, period to the S2R 1000, which is great. So that's not missing. She's even got her original Ducati clutch cover, fantastic, that's not missing. So why does Luke Ryan say that? Well, it's because he actually has seen S2R 1000 Super Nakeds, and some of the absolute doofuses, stupid twats, have decided to remove this. Even though this is Ducati, this is factory, this is what you would have if you bought an S2R 1000 from Ducati. And stupid clutch covers where it's some sort of aftermarket or the original Ducati cover's missing. So little things like that. This is not missing any parts. It's not missing anything, any parts that not missing any parts that should be there that came from Ducati, from the factory in 2005 to 2008. So it's beautiful. She has done a lot of miles, so there are parts where she is tired. You've got chips here, a little bit of chipping there, a bit of paint bubbling here. No, she's not perfect. Got some chipping here, some sort of repair of some kind here. Interesting, this has not been chopped down. That's her original tail tidy, which is quite interesting. So yeah, and marks on the front cover, so she has done some miles. And this is also very common, the Ducati Monster during these days, because Ducati naked, super naked, there's no fairings. Unfortunately, all of the crap often gets flung on the front cylinder, and Ducati did something about that with the 1200. But for these early Ducati super nakeds, yeah, all of the crap gets flung on the cylinders, so you can see the factory coating, paint coating, is all withered, it's all deteriorated, it's all crap. But you know, that's just what happens with motorcycles that do a lot of miles and haven't been maintained. But yeah, 1000cc, you can even see the vents at the back are absolutely massive. Even these vents here are massive, great big. What's lovely is these are braided as well. Look at that. Oil lines. Wow, it really is just, it's just a massive honking great big Ducati L twin trellis frame. I've got a bit of rotar here, but so this is what we've got. What's also interesting is Luke Ride's only just found out that these this the 1000cc super naked engine actually has 2 spark plugs. 2 spark plugs. You know, you meet a modern engine, only has one spark plug and does everything amazingly well. But back in the day, the reason why this engine actually had two spark plugs was a lot of that was brought in by Euro 3 emissions. So the whole point was to create a cleaner, better burn when the cylinders, explode the petrol, but also more power, more torque, because you can get a stronger detonation with 2 spark plugs at the time, because that's what the electronics, they couldn't handle it. Trying to pump more volts into a single spark plug, the technology wasn't there. So Ducati had to use 2. Look at that, even that's a starter motor. It's even these 1000cc's got extra venting here for cooling. It's just fascinating to look at. Fuel injected, look at that. The airbox is all the way up here, it's this unit there. Wow, trellis frame. That oil cooler is actually pretty tiny when you think about it. It's actually pretty tiny considering her age. So yeah, magnificent really. It just, Ride's not able to find any tail tidies for the S2R 1000s super nakeds. It's not able to, but I mean, look at that. Ooh. There's that. There's no red line. 11,000 RPM. Oh my god. 160. You couldn't on a super naked. You just couldn't. The wind buffeting would be. No one can handle that at 160. So yeah. But she's seen some miles. So she does need a lot of cleaning up, and lovely. It's really nice as well to see her original mirrors as well. They look actually really nice. I don't know why anyone would want to put bar end mirrors on her. It just, why? The actual factory mirrors, when you think about it, they actually look really nice. Actually do look quite nice, considering that was the time. They're really, yeah. This isn't period. That isn't black rear wheel. Chris understands it why you will find S2R1000s with black wheels, because modern super nakeds black wheels. But during the time back in 2005 to 2008, Ducati actually gave the wheels white paint. So these wheels should be both white, and only the front is white, not the back. So we will do something about that, hopefully. And yeah, just really tidy it up. Look at that. That's so period, isn't it? A massive, great big headlight. And that's how things used to be back then. It just looks really nice. So initially, the things we want to aim for is tidying up the S2R1000 Super Naked. We want a private registration on here eventually. That's a must. And then really white wheels are must. And then this system, this exhaust system, somehow. Can we find a high-rise system? Problem is try to find thermogamies. Whoa. Very, very difficult to find high-rise thermogamies for the S2Rs, the S2R1000. That's important because there was actually the S2R 800 and the S2R1000. There's an important difference because the 1000, the pipes are bigger and wider compared to the 800. So if you buy thermogamies for the 800 S2R 800, it's not going to fit. And it has to be for the 1000 because it's just right. And we need to delete these fucking hangers. No one will hold on. It's just super naked. Super nakeds don't have rear pegs. No. Yeah, it's very pretty. Look at see the gloss in there, the shine from that metallic speck. So Ducati sprayed this a metallic colour. That's why in the sun this pops. You see all the metallic-iness. Very interesting. I just look at her and just go, wow. And to think, this was a single-sided swing arm. Okay. Yeah, no, this is back in 2005 and 2008. So look at how Ducati built it. It's not like a single piece of aluminium rather than single-sided swing arms. This is built in sections. So you see the welds here, see a weld there. So this was built. The welds there. Look at the weld down there. This is built in multiple sections. That's how engineering was. That's the only way Ducati could build a single-sided swing arm out of multiple pieces. If you even met the 1100 Evo Super Naked, it would be a single piece. When I say single piece, it wouldn't have these bits welded to it. It would just be one solid piece of aluminium. But this was made out of several pieces. And of that, look at that. You just tell Ducati was so proud of what they built here. Whoa! They were very proud of this back in the day. And then Ducati just evolved it, really. We will be looking at a private registration, which will be about £250 from the DVLA, because Super Naked should have a private plate. You just look at her and go, wow. Sun helps as well. This is interesting. See that? That's the O2 sensor. For some reason the O2 sensor is touching the exhaust, which gets red hot. That's a worry. Because remember, fuel injected, so you start seeing fuel injected engines, O2 sensors. Not on the carbureted machines. No, fuel injected. Everything looks big and substantial and majestic. Even this, I could see at some point someone's painted this. just to tidy up the engine, really. Look at that, it's even got a sensor here, it's got a little sensor there. This is computers. Yeah, this is why we're starting to see computers on motorcycles. Brembo mass rear cylinder back in 2008 to 2005. That was the stuff of superbikes, you know. Amazing. Just look at this, so interesting to look at. Look at that, shaft suspension, big long forks. I just want to take this puppy out for a ride. But the belt's not been changed in years. So the engine is belt driven. Don't ever, whatever you do, miss your belt changes on a Ducati twin. If you do, you miss your belt changes and those belts snap, you will have those two cylinders smacking into the valves and you'll have catastrophic engine damage. Don't do it. So that's why we haven't started her up, because the belts have not been changed, so we can't risk starting her up in the belts. So, you just don't know. There could be cheap belts on that engine, super naked engine, or there could be genuine Ducati belts, but because we haven't opened up the side pieces, wouldn't matter if it was a genuine Ducati belt from Daiko. Just don't risk it. It's not worth it. You can imagine this has a lot of potential, this S2R 1000, to make her what she should be. No rear pegs, full system, high rise, white wheels, period and factory from Ducati, tidying up the paintwork, adding some carbon bits here and there, private registration. There's nothing we can do about this though. Luke Chrysler's looked. He cannot find a tail tidy for an S2R 1000. That was before eBay was even a thing. Could you imagine that in 2005? No one even heard of eBay. Imagine that. The only way you can make a tail tidy was literally you have to chop that down and know how to chop down a rear tail and build a tail tidy that way. You can buy a pre-made one. That's what Luke Chrysler's getting at. It wasn't a thing back then. So there's a lot of history here. And the big headlight is just Monster. That's just Ducati Monster, that is. The 1100 Evo had an Audi-based headlight, so it had parking light, and the light beam was optimized and had a diffuser inside it, whereas that is just a Ducati. It's just a big round headlight. But the 1100 Evo, the headlight was a lot smaller than that. It was like, some people call it feminine, I thought it was actually quite a pretty headlight, but everybody's different. So yeah, that's the S2R 1000 Super Naked. That's what we brought home. This is what's going to get Luke Rides back on the road. But there's a lot to do. Belts, oil change, spark plugs, air filter. Some point need a private, and then tax and insurance, private plate. Yeah, this has got a way to go before we can. We still got to get to Thailand, people. It's money. It's just this world fucking lives on money. It's the only way you can do anything. What a super naked. Well, hopefully you all enjoyed that. As you can see, Luke Rides is not like the Missenden Flyer, who was typical big. I am big, I'm the best, look at me, I'm a master, great big motor vlogger, I'm better than you. Style where he just went, oh yes, I'm going to reveal the motorcycle to you, and then he didn't. Like he was by the cover, and he said, I'm going to show you the motorcycle. Then he stopped and then he waffled on about something else. And then but you said you were going to just pull up the cover and you didn't. You waffled on about something else. If you're going to say you're going to do something, just do it. Because that's what you do in real life. The only reason why you go, hey, I'm going to pull the cover off this motorcycle, but by the way, hey, I'm going to talk about something else before I do that, is because you are a big, I'm better than you. Because it's all about you. It's all about you. If you're not talking like, look at me, you just get on with uncovering it and wouldn't make a big deal out of it. You just do it.
Without further ado, let me whip the cover off, show you what I've got. Just before I do whip the covers off the bike, just before I do whip the covers off the bike, just before I do whip the covers off the bike.
He's an asshole.
And just go, do you know, I'm just very grateful to be here, to have been able to afford my motorcycle, to be able to do this, to have a YouTube channel. But I'm not going to big myself up, I'm just going to do it, you're just going to enjoy it, and that's it. But that's not what Mr. Fly did. He was typical rich, I'm wealthy, I've got a massive YouTube channel, oh, fuck you. It was like that. Mr. Fly, Luke Rice doesn't like you. Doesn't like you. You're too full of yourself. So much. Stop being a dick. Stop being an asshole. And just be a normal person. Right? Yeah, so you got to meet the S2R. What an interesting motorcycle. She has done about 36,000 miles. So she's done a lot of miles, but what an interesting motorcycle. Look, we're going to do our absolute best to tidy up and upgrade and you know, do our best to restore that Super Naked as close as you can to how it used to be. But of course, all these things cost money. You know, it's not like you can go big price for giving this to our So yeah, hope you enjoyed that one.
The way we...
The little rascal has spirit. As what?
This is the end of the trail for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, kid.
Drink coffee? Oh! Thanks for watching. Coffee? Oh!